A year, user. Shoutouts to the intro. Welcome to Rich Talks, podcast where we do music commentary, cultural commentary, deep dives, and just interesting topics in general. I'm your host, Ankh, aka Ree. Now let's get into it. Man, doesn't it feel like sometimes we're like living in the worst timeline? Like a lot of things that we've been seeing lately, it just doesn't feel right, man. Like it doesn't even feel real, really. Like it feels kind of contrived, kind of planned, manufactured, like whatever you want to call it. But like, you know what? Let me just start off by saying rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, because nobody should be celebrating an assassination of a person who didn't even do anything but debate people who disagreed with him on some literal prove me wrong or change my mind type of premise. You know what I'm saying? And yet when you look at a lot of the reactions that went down after it happened, you would think that this man was like evil incarnate or the Antichrist, or was like the catalyst behind like every genocide in modern history, like the way some people celebrated it, man. Like all I can really equate that to is like some form of mental health, you know, because like it's gotten to a whole different degree of tribalism for some people that you aren't even like, it feels like you aren't even given any room to grow, right? Like you're not given room to understand, you're not given room to change your reasoning or your thinking. Like this era of cancel culture is basically turned everything on its head, you know what I mean? Because I know most people in real life are reasonable people, and they're not looking to celebrate the ending of someone's life, especially when they don't even know how many, like, come on, man, like they don't even know how many fingers that person had, or like, come on, man, like, do you even know what scars he had on his hands? Like, you know, like you didn't know that person, you've never met them. But you were celebrating like you knew this person personally.
You're a victim.
Like we've been told that like these people have been told that they should hate person X, Y, and Z, right? For ABC reasons, you know, or not even doing your own due diligence to like form your own opinion. You're just going based on what people are telling you, right? Because it's somebody that you feel has your best interest or has said things in the past that you may have agreed with. It's like the discernment just goes right out the window, and y'all just become like the sheep to whatever it is that you're being told to believe, right? Like it's funny because like when you watch some of the videos of people who were actually celebrating, it's like watching an episode of Black Mirror, because like
what?
They don't even see their own hypocrisy. Like many of those people would push messages of like tolerance and peace and harmony, but are the fastest ones to take it to the floor, you know, like they're the first ones to turn on anyone that offers an opinion that's opposite of theirs. Or if they aren't able to come up with a reasonable thought or rebuttal, like you can't come up with a reasonable thought out rebuttal to something that you disagree with, so you figure that you need that person needs to be silenced. Is that how it goes now? Like these people react like, y'all react like petulant children, man. Like actual petulant children. Like y'all have fully developed frontal lobes and still lack the ability to control your own emotions. It's actually insane to me. Like I'm gonna reiterate again, like nobody should be celebrating this type of violent ending. If you're indifferent to the whole thing, that's totally fine. Like that's totally fair. You don't have to feel anything for the man, but to celebrate in the way that these people did, it's not only trauma inducing, but it's literally creating a pathway for people to be just as hateful in return towards you. Then we all go down together circling the same drain, right? And we just end up we all end up on the floor. Like, we all end up in the same bucket, you know? All end up being crabs. Nobody can escape. Nobody's gonna escape the asylum. It's messed up, man. Like, you know, it's especially sad and kind of maddening, like the way that these people chose to like record themselves in celebration too. Yeah, like the same people that preach about and claim to be empaths and empathetic creatures. And yo, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I don't think the majority of people that use the word empath actually even know what an empath is. Like, I've always understood someone being empathetic means that they've actually experienced the emotions behind said thing in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, emotions that someone's going through, like they felt that in person. Like they felt it from I can only compare it to like a first person perspective, right? They see it from a first person perspective, so they understand it a little better. And it's like, it's almost like everyone kind of forgot that that sympathy also exists. You know what I mean? Like, sympathy is acknowledging someone's pain, but from a more third person perspective, or like kind of through a looking glass. Like, you can see it from a distance and you feel pity, you feel sadness for them, but you don't know how it actually feels. You don't know the emotions behind it. And I don't think that you should feel those emotions, because like the trauma behind that, it's damn, man, it's different. It's different. Cause like, now I say all that because first and foremost, like, I can tell that none of those people that celebrated the assassination, none of these people have actually lost someone close to them in a violent manner. Right? Because like, everybody is gonna lose somebody close to them at some point in their lives. Granted, like, come on, it's death is the only thing that's promised in life, right? But I'm specifying here because, again, like, not everyone is going to lose somebody in a violent manner, right? Like, at least for me, like, when I saw that shooting, my first thoughts were about like, yo, my first thoughts were about his family members. Like, how are they gonna get through this? Because I lost somebody close to me in a violent manner, like, multiple times. This has happened on more than one occasion, but like the first time was when I was 14, and I lost one of my older brothers to gun violence. And it's a different feeling. Like, I'm actually kind of getting a little choked up just like reminiscing on it. Like, it's crazy. And I don't think that somebody who hasn't experienced that can actually feel what I'm saying to that degree. Like, you can't feel that emotion unless you've yeah. But and again, I don't wish that on anybody. Like, I don't even wish this feeling on anybody. It's not a feeling that you would enjoy. It's not a feeling that anyone would appreciate, you know? And like, the more I think about it, it's like, damn, man. Like, there's really something wrong with the temperature of the world right now. Like, so many people looking to go viral no matter what the consequences are. You're nasty. And just think about that for a second. Going viral. How? Like, what in the world does that sound like? Yo, when did that ever become like sounding like a good thing? Viral? Really? Like, in what world? Like, really, in what world does that sound good? Like, listen, before the term even became synonymous with trends and being a trend or whatever, trend setting, whatever, when we would hear the term viral, it was like generally followed by the term infection. What? Right? And we all know what a viral infection is, right? And in the most simple way, a viral infection is an illness that is caused by a virus, right? So let's go a little bit further. What is a virus exactly, right? The definition of a virus is a microscopic agent that infects living cells in order to replicate itself, right? Now, if you blindly apply this same description to the trend of going viral, does it seem like such a good thing anymore? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of fear that like a large portion of the people who interact on the internet are being infected with a sort of mind virus of sorts. And let me explain. All right. Okay. I kind of want to be analogous for this explanation, so this might sound a little bit nerdy, but just follow me here, right? All right. So let me just put it like this. In anime, there's a certain trope of character types, right? The demons. Now follow me here. So the way the demonic characters are kind of generally portrayed in regards to like their personalities, they're generally seen to be kind of presented or shown with or using human-like emotions or morality to either further their own goals or to manipulate a situation in their favor, while simultaneously lacking human compassion. So in a way, psychopaths and sociopaths, right? And you know, they're sometimes depicted as prideful, hedonistic, emotionally inept, oftentimes twisted or corrupt due to like beliefs or past trauma. So, like, if you just take everything that I just explained, minus the part where I'm mentioning that this is a character trope in anime, doesn't this kind of sound like the people who kind of were doing the celebrating in this capacity? Like, they show no empathy whatsoever, but they claim to be empaths, right? You know what I mean? It's crazy, right? So oftentimes, like, you'll see that the demon character will kind of like behave indifferently or insensitively to the plights of other characters, simply because like it doesn't benefit that demonic character in that moment, right? Whether that's like emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it is, right? Because something in them is lacking or missing. What is that missing part? The humanity, right? Because they're not humans. They're demons. Now, I say all that to say that I do believe that a lot of these people who kind of they chose to celebrate the death, I really do believe that they're demonic. What? And just follow me here. And no, I don't mean like I don't actually mean like demonic in the religious or spiritual sense. Maybe in the spiritual sense. You don't even know, right? You never know, right? But when I say I think that they're demonic, I mean their mental health is off, right? Like, they have some kind of mental virus that suppresses or numbs their ability to I don't know, to be an adult. Like, how do you guys have fully developed frontal lobes and still find ways to behave in such insane ways, like over some words? You know what I mean? Like, and I also think that this mind virus, it's kind of exacerbated by some key players in positions of power that own and control the media landscape on a major scale. So they can push certain propaganda and rile up the ignorant masses through fearing the second coming of that Austrian painter from World War II who will remain unnamed. Like, you know who I'm talking about. The guy who looks like Charlie Chaplin. Anyways, rest in peace also to yeah, man, let's bring this back, because like rest in peace also to Trayvon Martin and even George Floyd, man, because if you really think about it, like this mind virus goes deep and far back, right? Like, remember when Trayvon was killed? When was that? Like 2012, right? There was like actually groups of people mocking his death. What? Right, and celebrating Zimmerman, the killer himself, and in all those instances of those celebrations, there was a heavy stench of racism that fell with it, right? Because like these people even tried to coin a term for it for what they were doing. What do they call it? They called it Trayvoning. Where they basically they take pictures of themselves laying on the ground, sometimes in hoodies, like pretending to be deceased with like a bag of Skittles in one hand and a can of pop in the other, just like, bro, it was just, it's in horrible taste. Like, these are some sick fucks. Like really and truly, that's how I felt. They're like sick fucks, and they felt justified in turning the tragic death of a young boy who didn't even reach the age for his frontal lobe to reach maturity, right? Like they thought it best to turn his tragedy into a verb. For nothing but their own entertainment and to rage bait certain groups of people. You know what I'm saying? Like in an almost feels like repeating of history, the pattern of mocking people you feel are under you, like people you feel are less deserving of your respect because their views don't match yours, or their complexion, or the way they walk or talk, like it affects you so much that you need to get the power back by being a piece of shit human being, right? They're fucking demons, man. Like, y'all are fucking demons. That's all I can say, man. Like, all right, man. Like, most of you would agree that, like, fear and hate are very powerful motivators, right? And instruments for controlling individuals' actions, right? Right. But, you know, what about charisma? Like, you know, because personally, I think charisma has that same potential to be one of the most powerful instruments for controlling people. You know, their state of minds, I guess. But okay, maybe I'm just going off on a tangent, because like, yeah, I was
stop the cap.
I really wanted to like address that a little bit, because I didn't appreciate the way people celebrated in that, and it just like when I saw some of those videos, like these people just they looked so soulless, like they looked lost. I felt sad for them in a way. Like first there was shock, then there was anger, but there was also sadness there. It was like, yo, you guys are just ignorant and being manipulated. Like that's how I truly felt. I feel like these people were truly being manipulated. And yeah. Anyways, all right. Yeah, that was a lot. But now we gotta talk about another topic. This one's kind of heavy too. There's not too many details on it because it's still currently under investigation, but we gotta talk about that singer D4VD or David or whatever the fuck his name is. Like, I don't even know who this guy was. Like, if y'all haven't heard the story yet, it's kind of wild, man. Like, well, based on what we know, even though it's not fully confirmed, not everything's fully confirmed, but based off what we know, it's crazy. But so first, obviously, a little backstory here. D4vid or David, or it's David. I know it's David, but I'm just calling him D4vid because that shit's dumb. He was born David Anthony Burke on March 28th, 2005. My God, this kid's only 20 years old. In Queens, New York, and he basically lived there until age of 13 when Him and his family moved to Houston. David was homeschooled until he was in the 7th grade, and he mostly grew up listening to gospel music until the age of 13. How he even got started as a musician was more a matter of convenience rather than like a genuine love or devotion to the art. So he initially started off as a gamer that liked to upload Fortnite montages on YouTube, and he was like embedding licensed music in his videos, right? Which obviously is going to lead to copyright infringement issues. Like, you can't just take licensed music and put it in your videos and monetize those videos, right? Like, come on now. So to get around that, his mom basically suggested to him that why doesn't he just make his own music? And instead, why doesn't he just make his own music for his Fortnite videos, which eventually kind of pushed him towards songwriting and beat production, which is kind of interesting. It's like, is that like a go-to for most young black males? Like when we get to the age between like, when we start like in our teen years, like just before like we end up going to college years, it feels like we're kind of pigeonholed into looking at certain I'm gonna say careers as the go-tos, like either being an athlete or going into music, making music, being a musician. But like, whatever happened to like, you know what it is though? You know what I really feel it is? It's because like when you think of like the other respectable positions, like maybe doctors or lawyers or whatnot, right? They aren't really seen as the role models for kids in the hood, because nobody wants to live in the hood, y'all. Like, really and truly. Like, nobody actually wants to live in the hood. And when you get to a position where you no longer have to live in the hood, you're not going to be like, all right, you know what? I'm going to keep living in the hood so I can show all of these other youngins that they have a positive role model in me. Like, there's doctors that still live in the hood. No, the fuck there aren't. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting that it almost feels like kids in the hood are kind of pushed towards only certain roles. Like, the role models that we have are the LeBron Jameses and Futures and Lil Babies. It's like, I'm just going off on a tangent here, but let's get back to D4 David. All right, enough of that. Yeah, like, this man is currently under investigation for some very, very, very serious allegations. Here are some of the facts of the case currently. On September 8th, 2025, human remains were found in the frunk. I guess that's the front trunk of a kind of stupid ass name is a front. You guys gotta stop coining these nonsensical names. Just call it a front trunk. It's just a front trunk, guys. Whatever. Holy crap. Of a Tesla that was impounded in Hollywood, California, right? Following complaints about a foul odor. Now, why was this Tesla just sitting on the, like, just parked on the street for weeks with a foul odor, and it took that long for them to impound it? Like, over here, like, you can't just have your cars on the street for long periods of time. You're gonna get a ticket, you're just gonna get it impounded. I don't know how Hollywood's just, that's pretty convenient for Hollywood, man. Like, damn. Anyways, the Tesla in question was registered to D4vid himself. Now here's where it gets kind of atrocious, right? I mean, it's still all speculation at this point because it's still an investigation, but this is just disgusting. The remains were later identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old girl who had been missing since April 5th, 2024. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at here. You're nasty. You freaking y'all are nasty, man. If this guy really did have some sort of, anywho, the cause of death is currently undetermined because the remains were so severely decomposed. The cause of death couldn't even be determined because like that's how decomposed the body was. So I'm starting to think like, yo, how long was that foul odor like just wafting from this Tesla? Like, how bad does Hollywood stink for y'all to have not noticed this crazy level of decomposition? Like, the smell must have been insane and y'all just like allowed it for that long. This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. Right? Anyways, the medical examiner's office, they marked the cause of death as pending further evaluation. There was some identifiers that helped them figure out who she was, including a shh tattoo on her right index finger. Who does that? Why do you guys do whatever? 15, bro? Among other distinguishing features, and her body was definitely in the car for an extended period. Like, yo, some of the neighbors, y'all, come on, man. Y'all live in filth over there, man. How do you just let a smell emanate from a car for that long? You're nasty. Like, I don't even let roadkill on the road last that long. Like, that smell hits so right away, and I see a freak. Nah, man. Nah. This is all bad, man. This is all bad. This is all bad. And they're saying that D4vid is currently cooperating with authorities, which to me absolutely does not prove his innocence, because I remember even reading up recently on like a case of a child that was unalived, and the parents were cooperating, of course, but come to find out later that after the investigation, the parents were the ones that were arrested for the murder of their own child. So like, just because someone's cooperating with authorities, it should not be looked at as an admission of innocence, right? So people think they can get away with all kinds of things just by faking emotions. They play with people's intelligence. They really think that people are not as intelligent as they are. Like, it's very prideful. It's very narcissistic to think that way. Like, that you think that you're smarter than everybody else because you came up with this elaborate plan. Like, no. Anyways, a search warrant was even performed at a residence in Hollywood Hills that was also linked to D4vid. Again, I know it's pronounced David, guys, but I'm going to continue to call him D4vid because it's just such a stupid way to spell your name, D4VD. Anyways, where they seize electronics and computers, but like, who knows if that will lead to anything? Because like, didn't they do the exact same thing when they raided Diddy's houses, and like all they took were like electronics and computers, and look what came of that. Like, he was found not guilty of the RICO charges. Anyways, D4vid also canceled all of his current tour dates, and he had a planned deluxe release of his debut album called Withered. That also got removed from all platforms. As of now, there's still no public charges that have been filed, but the investigation is being treated as a homicide. And those are the facts of the case, right? But let's really kind of get into the conspiracy theories a little bit and rate how plausible they kind of could be. Because why not, right? Why not? Just like to play around a little bit. Before we even get into the conspiracy theories, there's so much like online rumors that like this hasn't been substantiated, because like apparently it's still a rumor, but when the news dropped that he was related to this, there was rumors that her allegedly Celeste's brother and mom had mentioned or confirmed that she was dating some guy. She had a boyfriend by the name of David, and her running away isn't a new thing. Apparently she had been running away constantly from like the age of 13 or something with this David boyfriend or whatever. And I don't know, it's just there's too much to be said when the internet gets a hold of like something like this, which is just gives way too much room for speculation and the internet bots to just create these stories and for people to run with it. And again, that's how things go viral, and this is how the woke mind virus spreads to people, right? Yeah. let's just go to the conspiracies, man. I'm going off on different tangents. So let's start with the two Celestes theory, right? The two Celeste theory, it kind of purports that there were two different people named Celeste that are connected to D4vid. Damn, I can't believe I slipped and didn't call him D4vid for once. Anyway, Celeste Rivas, the victim, obviously, the 15-year-old victim, I should say, and a 23-year-old by the name of Celeste Herrera, who apparently had some online interactions with D4vid before. And this theory was started on Twitter or X or whatever you guys call it. And I personally think it was just kind of started because, again, like, the man has a song, because these internet rumors, they're easy to run with, right? Like, once you get a little bit of information here, and then somebody else will come on the internet claiming that they're close to the situation or they've spoken to sources, and all of a sudden that snowballs into being factual, and that's how these things end up going viral. You see the woke mind virus? Y'all are not seeing the pattern here? There is some pattern recognition that y'all need to see. But yeah, the man also has like a song named Celeste, and really I think it just gained like a lot of traction off of something like that. Like, I don't think this theory really has much legs, to be honest. Like, it doesn't really say much, like the two Celeste theory. Ooh, so if there's another Celeste out there, then why isn't she reaching out to the cops? If like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird conspiracy theory, and I only brought it up just to kind of highlight the point of the episode. Like, you know, the pattern recognition. You guys got to see that there's but you see it, right? Like, there's ways people just create these patterns, and they use the patterns to run with it. All right, I'll get into more details later, because like I'm literally going off on different tangents, and like I probably should have fleshed out my explanation of the pattern. You see, that's just straight off the dome, right? Straight off the dome, but it is what it is. Anyways, the next theory we got is the alter ego theory. Now this theory claims that D4vid has an alter ego by the name of Itami, who in interviews and music is said to do dark things. Guys, does this not sound like the literal explanation I did earlier when I said I wanted to be a little bit analogous, and I literally compared the character trope of the demons in anime to the mind virus that people suffer from today? And I didn't even I didn't even know this part when I came up with my theory over there. Like, what the hell? This guy has an alter ego named Itami? You can't make this shit up, guys. What? What? Is this not the embodiment of the mind virus right there?
Stop the cap.
Anyways, for whatever reason, the Itami theory makes some people believe that these things that he created artistically may foreshadow or link to real events, because Itami, it means pain in Japanese, right? Again, anime reference. Some people speculate that Itami is his telltale heart, you know, his guilty conscience. Sorry, if you guys don't know the Telltale Heart, it was a story by Edgar Allan Poe. I do mention this a lot. It's a story about somebody murdering somebody, and essentially his guilty conscience betrays him, and he eventually gets caught. Right, his guilty conscience was too much for him to bear, and he ended up what's the word? Wow, what's the word? He ended up confessing to the murder that he committed. Anyways, yeah. So they're trying to say that it's almost like Telltale Heart. Itami is just like the embodiment of his Telltale Heart after he murdered his ex Celeste. And this first introduction to his alter Itami is referenced in the song called Romantic Homicide. So he has a song called Romantic Homicide, and there's it's the first time that you hear the introduction of this Itami character. And in the music videos, an Itami usually is depicted as being blindfolded. It's just the guy's just being artistic, guys. Like, I don't think you guys should read that deep into it. And like, I even checked the lyrics for Romantic Homicide. It's just like, no. there's no confession there. Like, no. He's just an emo guy. It's just emo lyrics. Anyways, now I understand why people would come up with the theory a little bit. Like, the more you think about it, doesn't the theory feel like you're judging someone's guilt based on their lyrics? Like the way we harp on the fact that we shouldn't judge rappers based solely on their lyrics. The Trial of Young Thug comes to mind. So why are we suddenly doing that with this weird, like, this seemingly weeb? Like, he seems like an anime weeb, like just really emotional dude, like that he may have committed this crime, yes, but we don't know yet. That's the thing, we don't know yet. And what do they always say in the law? It's guilty, wow, innocent until proven guilty. Wow. Nah, it feels like in the court of public opinion, on the other hand, it's usually guilty until proven innocent. And even after being proven innocent, some will still feel you're guilty. Like, that's just how it works. That's just how it works, especially for dudes. Like, once we're seen as guilty in the court of public opinion, we're just guilty for life. Like, even if the facts come out and everything is proven that we're not, there's always going to be some people that say, yeah, but I think he still did it. You know? Just, you can't get around that. And so the last theory that I wanted to address is the ritual sacrifice theory.
What?
This one's kind of a bit on the wild ones. Like, honestly, it's one of the wildest ones, but simultaneously feels like the one that's easiest to believe based on the history of connections between the entertainment industry itself, Hollywood, and ritual sacrifices. Like, remember a few years ago, I think it was around 2020, when there was like that conspiracy going on about that furniture company, Wayfair. remember when they sold cabinets that were like all listed with girls' names, and like it eventually kind of, the theory snowballed into people thinking that those same cabinets, that same cabinet naming convention that they were used were all secretly tied to like missing children's cases from across the US, like with the same names as the cabinets and stuff. It even just me explaining that, it just sounds wild crazy, like, doesn't it? Because it is, man. What the hell? Like, and yet we realize that with some theories, even when proven wrong, we sometimes still maintain a little bit of mistrust of the truth, because we as humans are creatures of patterns. Yes, we are. What? And we constantly seek we constantly seek patterns, right? Whether that's consciously or subconsciously, we're always seeking pattern recognition, because that's one of the ways that we help ourselves understand or find reasoning in the world around us that we live in. But back to Deforvid. So the theory goes that Celeste was sacrificed under a blood moon, and the reasoning behind this theory is closer related to the occult a little bit, as like those who because those who subscribe to this theory, they kind of believe that the timing of Celeste's birthday, the death, and other celestial events, such as the lunar eclipse or blood moon, as some call it, for example, leads people to believe that the young girl was sacrificed, right? And also the fact that she was young, like she wasn't an adult. Like they always associate missing children with like sacrifices in the entertainment industry. Like they sacrifice babies and take the stem cells and stuff. I'm really sounding like Alex Jones right now. Jesus Christ. They're turning the frogs gay. Now listen, I'm not immediately assigning guilt to this young man, because like we don't know anything yet. Like the investigation, it's still really ongoing, but the court of public opinion's already spoken, and like, yo, you can't see past the patterns, man. Like, we gotta recognize the patterns, man. Like, for example, I think I wouldn't say ritual sacrifice, but I'd say more humiliation ritual theory, maybe more than just a theory, you know what I mean? Like there's just simply too many instances of people in the entertainment industry that end up in extremely humiliating, embarrassing, or just like scandalous public situations, but it suddenly just leads them to very lucrative situations after the fact for a lot of those people. Like Deforvid's music suddenly got like a huge uptick in plays after news of like his involvement happened. Like, it's all messed up, man. Like, what have we become? Like, remember when let me bring it back. Remember when we finally canceled R. Kelly, like when it was mute R. Kelly, his plays didn't go up. All of a sudden his streaming numbers didn't go up. Matter of fact, people were asking the streaming companies to remove his stuff, and yet Deforvid stuff went up after the fact, which is why I feel like it's closer tied to humiliation ritual than a blood sacrifice. But you never know, right? You never know. You know, because I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, I really feel like I've been rambling on for a bit, honestly. But before I go, on a more serious note, I just kind of want to reiterate it again, like Umar Johnson. I want to reiterate it one more time, like Dr. Umar does. Basically, like whenever he says things 3 times, so it's stuck in your head, so you actually remember. Nobody Nobody should celebrate the violent ending of someone that did nothing to you personally. Let's normalize having respectful debates with differing opinions. Nobody thrives in an echo chamber, and people should always be given the room to grow in their thoughts and opinions based on new information. Nobody knows it all, and nobody likes a know-it-all. You know what I'm saying? All right. With that said, I'm out of here, y'all. Salute to the outro.